remember St Bartholomeus and St John of Gaza. You know, for them, it appears that their critique of Greek or Hellenistic philosophy is a kind of veiled critique of a kind of scholasticizing sort of academic kind of philosophy practiced by Christians, you know, very intellectual Christians, John Philoponus and others in the academies and in the empire. For them, all of this is a complete failure to practice the spiritual disciplines, to love one's neighbour, to attend to the demands of the Christian life. For them, it's almost escapist, and so they have very harsh words for a kind of this interest in finer philosophical questions. So even it seems you have the beginnings, perhaps, of this, what, you know, in the Middle Ages becomes a much harder separation between philosophy as a purely rationalistic, intellectualistic pursuit and the life of affectivity and the practicos, etc. These two sort of seem to take different paths, and so you end up with a split between piety and rationalism, between intellectualism and voluntarism. These things already start to unfold, it seems, in the Middle Ages, but, you know, kind of solidified with Descartes.
Yeah, no, Brian Daly has a wonderful article that you may know about the Byzantine origins of scholasticism. It was in the 5th century, around the middle of the 5th century in Alexandria. Philosophy began to be taught in a way that, academic philosophy was being taught by Neoplatonists, but they were teaching it in a way that was, if you will, religiously neutral, focused primarily on sort of lecturing on Aristotle, and especially on Aristotle's logical works, became almost the center of the curriculum. This was sometimes called the School of Ammonius. Ammonius was the first major teacher in this tradition, but then you had later people like Simplicius was one who wrote these vast commentaries on Aristotle. And there was a whole sequence of them, and the students included both pagans and Christians. And Christians found the logical terminology and the attempt to give precise definitions to terms like ousia, a substance, or I don't know,
all the categories.
Yeah, all the Aristotle's categories, but then also some terms that were not out from Aristotle, later terms like apostasis, of course a key term in Christian theology. Well, these were philosophical terms that philosophers worked to clearly define and delineate. They had different theories or different schools of thought about what universals are, universals and particulars. And all this terminology and sort of logical machinery, the theologians of this era, this is in the immediate wake of Chalcedon, as you know, extremely contentious, a lot of debate between the Monophysites, the Chalcedonians. They found this terminology and attempt to be precise very helpful. And so what Daly points out is that you begin to get works by Leontius of Byzantium, for instance, John the Grammarian, and others, that are really kind of proto-scholastic in the sense that they're using logical rigor and drawing heavily on Aristotelian terminology and the Aristotelian commentary tradition to defend their theological position.